Yo, what is going on YouTube? I am Germ here, and this video today is going to be hard to make, hard to talk about, I think, but I am going to do my best to do it justice. Obviously, I think, a lot of the times we're talking about, video games and talking about trash talk and drama and all this silly stuff and stuff that obviously we really care about and we're all really passionate about, but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter that much. And, we can be funnier and mess around more and get like, over exaggerated and all this crazy silliness and all that stuff. But I do want to do this video today justice. And it is obviously something that people have been wondering about for a long time. And then more on the story of like now Doublelift getting involved and being in hot water and some of that drama and everything. So I do want to talk about it. And I do want to cover it still. But it's going to be a little bit more difficult. Obviously, we're talking about the upset drama dating back to Worlds last year. Now some new details, new stories and stuff coming out, new reactions coming out, new drama coming out of the whole thing. So I don't know. It's going to be tough. Forgive me if I mess something up. Forgive me if I don't do it perfect. I don't know. I'm going to do my best. But with that being said, let's get right into it. And this all starts on the, Trash Talk podcast with Doublelift. He had a spicy episode that I was really excited for. I watched the whole thing. Overall, I think it's a pretty good episode. It wasn't as juicy or as spicy or anything that I thought it was going to be. I wish it was a little bit better. Maybe I wish he has some better questions or some different questions. But he has Niski and Jensen on there. Obviously, two guys that are kind of at the forefront of this mini little offseason right now. Jensen is a free agent. Niski's a free agent. Maybe not for much longer. But anyway, obviously, Niski was a part of this Fnatic team last year at Worlds that, upset left them like less than 24 hours before their first game. They had this big implosion. It ends up with, Niski getting kicked from the team, Adam kind of choosing to leave the team or whatever the heck happened, Bwipo leaving the team, all this stuff. And it was really, really hard. We saw behind the scenes that like Niski was like crying. Guys were breaking down. They were mentally, kind of just very, very frustrated and mad and sad and confused and hurt and stuff. Upset was like their best player. He was like, one of the most important parts of the team. They had high expectations going into Worlds. This is their career that they had worked all year for, and you only get one real big chance a season as a League of Legends pro to do something, and if you do bad at Worlds, it might hurt you going into the future and all this stuff. But they do start to talk about that a little bit, and that's kind of where this whole thing derails.
Sorry, one last thing I have to ask. I know that you can't say anything, but like, that whole upset shit that happened, like, do you actually think, like, because did you think that it was a justified reason? You don't have to say the actual reason, but like at the time, did you think that it was like a real good reason?
I would like to not comment on that.
What? What's the juice?
That's the juice. See, really, it's about what you're not saying, and I feel like if there was a really good reason, you would say, "Okay, I'm not gonna keep trying." But
and at this point, I think it is kind of important to note that we don't know what everyone knows. What I think, at least as far as I know, what we had been told is that, hey, Upset told Fnatic, he told his bosses, he told the people that needed to know kind of what had happened, or at least part of the situation, or at least most of the situation, why he needed to leave, why he needed to go home, why he couldn't play at Worlds. But I know people have come out, and guys like Adam and stuff have said that, hey, we never heard why. We didn't get an answer. We didn't get a reason. So I don't really know how much Niski knows or doesn't know. And, asking Niski if it was a good reason and Niski saying no comment doesn't mean that Niski's saying the reason he thinks isn't a good reason. It could be the fact that Niski hasn't heard a reason or hasn't gotten a good explanation or hasn't gotten a good reason up until this point, because obviously this was recorded before we started to hear everything coming out of this, but Doublelift talks about this. This is obviously a very, very touchy subject in general, where a lot of people are going to be, it seems like a lot of people are either very for Upset or very against Upset in this situation. He has a lot of trolls, a lot of people that want to poke fun at him and his wife for the whole situation, and whether they do know what happened or don't know what happened or whatever. And I don't know. It's just obviously a crazy, crazy, crazy situation. And Doublelift even bringing it up, he knows he necessarily shouldn't, and he knows that Niski can't say much. And even Jensen, gave like a whoa, like reaction, like what are we doing? Because yeah, it's just rough. But to be fair to them, no one at this point, really knew.
All I'm gonna say is like that whole situation is so fucking funny, and upset wifey memes are like Literally the funniest shit I've seen in my life. All right, I had to ask.
So obviously, you know, Doublelift saying it's the funniest shit he's seen in his life. Niski kind of gives like a half-hearted smile. You know, he's not exactly like dying laughing. And Jensen's, you know, trying to hold it back too. It's like Doublelift is like really pushing this, and everyone else is just like visibly uncomfortable. Like, you know, I don't know, man. Can we talk about something else? Like, I don't know. Maybe we don't think this is funny as you or whatever. But again, up until this point, is it probably disrespectful to make fun of the situation or be laughing about the stuff? Yeah, definitely. And is it something he should probably be doing? No, probably not. I don't think that's that crazy of a take. I don't think that's a hot of a take. But again, up until that point, it was all speculation. No one really knew what happened. They were just kind of, you know, making light of a crazy situation or a bad situation or an unfortunate situation for Upset and his wife and all this stuff. But I don't know. It was just, this was kind of a weird, hard to watch part of it and hard to be a part of it for Niski and Jensen, it does seem. But eventually that led to this, where we go to Twitter, and this is Paula, whatever, Upset's wife, tweeted out, "I just heard Doublelift say that memes about me are the funniest thing in the world. How good is it to make fun of other people's pain?" And again, that's what I was saying. It's like, yeah, is him making fun of the misfortune of, you know, Upset's wife and Upset and all these guys when stuff happened? Is it the best thing in the world to make fun of that or say that people making fun of that are funny? Like, no, that's, you know, probably a little bit, you know, asshole-ish or whatever of Doublelift to do. But again, Doublelift doesn't know the actual truth. He doesn't know what happened. It's just speculation at this point. You know, it's not like they're making fun of some horrible thing that happened to you because they don't know what happened. You know, there's been stories of maybe it was just something stupid or maybe some little, you know, I don't know. I'm not trying to justify what Doublelift was doing or saying, but, you know, I don't think it's as bad. But where it obviously gets worse is then somebody says this random person, Tebow Shea, 50 followers on Twitter, like just total absolute random, you know, gets a reply out of this whole situation. He says, "Then explain why he left World if you want to stop the meme," which is like, you know, obviously they don't owe you anything. They don't have to respond. They don't have to tell you what happened. You know, they've kept it a secret up to this point, and they've had so many people asking, you know, their own teammates, they're people that they work with, close with, people in the community. Everyone's been talking about it for so long. Everyone's been asking for so long, and they've always just stayed quiet because they'd always said, hey, nobody needs to know. I told my bosses, we made a decision. Everyone that matters was important, was, you know, fine with what happened and all this stuff. But for some reason, obviously, you know, Doublelift bringing this up and making fun of it or whatever, like kind of set them off all over again. And then more people in the community talking about it set them off all over again. So Upset's wife actually responded to this guy. I think he's now deleted the tweet or whatever. But she said, "Because I was abused. He don't say anything because he want to protect me, but the right people in his work know. Now is everyone happy? I'm done with all this. How everyone is so disgusting. I'm dealing with double pain here and we're doing our best. I can't believe this community. How crazy are you that you need to know so badly something so personal, otherwise you're going to start to do so much damage for no reason. We deal every fucking day with all your bad energy for not knowing what happened at Worlds. I can't believe all this." Upset obviously responds and says, "I wish I could have protected you in a better way. I love you." And she says, "You're the best. I love you so much." So I'm glad that there are at least, you know, seem to be doing well. They're still in high spirits. Obviously, you know, some people said, hey, maybe it's weird to say stuff like that on Twitter. I don't know. But, you know, it is good that they're standing strong. Upset obviously responded to this as well. And he said, "Even though I feel like every person with at least half a brain can finally understand the decision now, the pain we endured and the accusations could have been answered sooner, I feel so heartbroken that it was pushed to this point. Enough is enough. Fuck this place. Morons wanting details about the abuse that were serious enough to warrant this kind of action. This is where parts of the community are just amazing." And like I said, yes, she just says abuse. She doesn't go into detail. She doesn't need to go into detail. It's obviously going to, you know, make people's mind go to a certain place, or they're going to speculate or even just wonder. And I think that's natural. But hey, there's no point in doing that. It doesn't matter. Like, whatever happened, one, it's already so far in the past. Two, who cares? You know, we don't need to know. We're probably never gonna know any more than this, and it really doesn't matter. But it does show you the serious nature of what happened, and like, you know, then people can kind of start to resonate back. I don't know if resonate's the right word, but think back to, you know, the situation Upset was in. You know, if you heard, you know, something happened to your wife or your loved one or a family member, whatever, that they were abused, you know, in whatever way or whatever happened, you know, would you be able to sit there and play League of Legends or, you know, compete? Would your mind be able to be focused anyway? Like, even if you were wanting to stay, you wouldn't be able to focus. You wouldn't be able to play at the highest level. You wouldn't you would be doing your teammates a disservice by, you know, being a shell of yourself. And you know, him going back to be with his wife and help her through the situation mentally and being there and all that stuff, I think becomes a lot more understandable. And obviously the serious nature of the whole thing does kind of come out. But where Doublelift kind of gets himself, not kind of, definitely gets himself in even more hot water. And this is where people are talking about this thing, you know, serious and getting really, really upset with him, is this. You know, he was still streaming when Upset's wife tweeted this stuff out, and he kind of responded. And, you know, this is where maybe things go from bad to worse.
Oh, yeah. Ideally, everyone would be very nice to each other permanently. I mean, like, dude, I think the jokes are absolutely fucking hilarious. If you don't, then you don't have a good sense of humor. But, I mean, sure, she has the right to be butthurt about it. Guys, don't lie. When you see upset wifey jokes, you're laughing your fucking ass off. Oh, yeah. Ideally,
and obviously, nice. A lot of the words, you know, he chose there really took things from bad to worse. And I just think it's really, really weird that, I mean, again, you know, people are saying, I mean, one, you know, this is all happening live. He's just kind of letting a stream of consciousness go. But at the same time, like, you are streaming to a lot of people. I don't know. He gets a lot of viewers, you know, 5, 10, 15,000 viewers, whatever. And like, to be saying these things to all these people into the community is like, obviously not great. And even if he believes these things, even if you think that's true, like, just keep that to yourself. Just say it doesn't. Like, apologizing or trying to downplay it or whatever makes so much sense, and it's just a better look for you. And then, you know, that's just like the normal kind of like empathetic response. Obviously, people have brought up the fact that Doublelift has gone through some very, very traumatic things, and, you know, he's had his fair share of issues, and that, yeah, he should be empathetic to stuff like this and not, you know, kind of drumming up more in the community and sending more kind of hate and jokes and memes and whatever things their way at their expense. And I don't know. It just wasn't a great response to the whole situation by Doublelift, obviously. And, you know, I don't know. I'm not here to like virtue signal or act like holier than thou or whatever. But again, just wanted to kind of get this out to everyone, both sides, you know, explain some of the drama and what's going on and why people are mad at Doublelift and why Upset's talking about stuff and his wife's talking about stuff, and just kind of give context to the whole thing, because it's obviously going to be a big story. But yeah, it's hard, it's touchy, it's hard to talk about. It's, I don't know, a whole huge rabbit hole. But I do hope that now that all this has come out, that we can kind of, you know, tie a knot on this whole thing and kind of be done with it. Because again, I think for the most part, it's been done anyway. And like at this point, you know, 5 months later, 6 months later, nobody needed to know what happened. It's not going to change anything that happened. It's not going to, you know, it's not going to make them feel any better or do them any better or whatever. So I do hope we can just kind of move on from this whole thing. I hope Doublelift, I assume he's going to put out some statement and maybe apologize at some point or something. Maybe he's not. I don't know. I think it would just make sense. Again, even if he doesn't truly believe that, it's just kind of the normal thing to do, even if you want to make yourself look better and not, you know, kind of, I don't know. It's not going to be a great look for him, I don't think. But yeah, I kind of, you know, obviously there was a ton of jokes and memes and stuff beforehand, but then after her tweets, after you maybe heard a little bit more, got some insight into what happened, maybe puts the whole thing into focus a little bit more. But I don't know. Pretty much over this video, guys. Just wanted to, like I said, I don't know. I don't know if I should have made this video or shouldn't have, or should have covered something like this or not. And I hope I did it justice. But yeah, it's a big thing. I don't know. Peace.